So thanks to Eli Roth, we have a new killer on the block, and his name is John Carver. I just wish we could take him through different holidays. I wish we could have, John Carver Christmas special. Hey, John Carver Easter, St. Patrick's Day. I mean, that sounds fun. Oh, I could have a romantic dinner with John Carver for Valentine's Day. John Carver 4th of July? We're all tired of the same remade, overdone, requels, sequels. One of the things that I really love about this film is that it is an original concept. It is a new killer, a new slasher, and it is fresh. It may have homages to Scream and to other films, just like everything else is derivative, but John Carver is new. Today I'm reviewing Thanksgiving, directed by Eli Roth and stars Patrick Dempsey, Nell Verlique, Addison Rae, Rick Hoffman, and Gina Gershon. This is going to be spoiler-free. Thanksgiving started as a trailer in a Grindhouse film that Eli Roth directed. And now it has become a full-length feature film released in theaters. This movie has been a long time in the making. Many people who saw the trailer and the other trailers in the Grindhouse films were anxiously hoping that they would become actual films, and guess what?
Dreams really do come true.
This is the third time that one of the mock trailers from Grindhouse has been turned into a film. The first one was Machete, directed by Robert Rodriguez. It really turned Danny Trejo into a leading man, which is fabulous. That also spawned a sequel, and now we have Thanksgiving. The film is set in Plymouth, Massachusetts, and centers around a Black Friday, which is technically not a Black Friday. It is a Thanksgiving evening riot, stampede, shopping mob, basically a massacre at a shopping store with people looking for great prices on waffle makers. Mainly waffle makers. For some reason, they really like waffle makers. I mean, waffle makers are kind of cheap, y'all. But, I guess if you don't have a good waffle maker, waffles sound kind of good right now.
Waffles are awesome.
Basically, the town's mascot is John Carver. Like, who is John Carver? John Carver was one of the pilgrims who braved the Mayflower voyage in 1620, which resulted in the creation of Plymouth Colony in America. Okay. And they actually have a handy-dandy photo here, which is a drawing, obviously. And it looks like the masks, actually. It looks very, very, very similar to the masks. And the killer decides to dress up as John Carver and do his thing. Kill, however many people die in the film. The movie starts out incredibly strong with this riot right at the beginning. And there are some pretty rough kills, and one kill in particular that is, hair-raising for sure. You'll get that one when you see it. Then we fast forward a year later, and we see this John Carver character coming after everyone, or most of the people that were involved in the Thanksgiving evening riot. This movie reminds me of a Scream film. For some reason, just the way it plays out and the way that it's structured and set up feels like Scream, but it's like Scream with more gore, for sure. For sure. There are a ton of inventive and creative kills in this film. I think that Eli did a great job really mapping out a lot of these kills. A lot of them made sense. From what I heard, he actually also put multiple characters in the John Carver costume so that you really couldn't determine who it was based on their body type, which I think is incredibly clever. Anyone could be the killer and his suspect. I think there is an excellent balance here of the humor and the raw slasher film and its seriousness. It really does an excellent job of combining the two. Patrick Dempsey is phenomenal in this film. He plays the sheriff who was at the Thanksgiving evening riot and who is investigating and trying to find out exactly who is murking all these people. I loved seeing Gina Gershon in her role. It's not a large role. I would have loved to have seen more of her. But after seeing her in Chucky recently, I have been so excited to see her in more stuff. And she's so beautiful. And I just love her. So I would love to see her in more movies. Hint, hint. The weakest point to the film, and everyone that I was with agreed, is the acting. Patrick Dempsey is not a problem, but all of the actors are not solid. But they also weren't horrible. So they're, it is what it is. I think that the characters make pretty logical choices. There wasn't really anyone who stood out to me that was just so illogical that you just get irritated by them. So that was a very good thing. I liked the camaraderie and the friendship of the group. They felt very real and the chemistry was great. Like I said, the acting may not have been that great, but I did believe that they were friends. There are nods to the Grindhouse trailer, the Thanksgiving Day parade, the trampoline, which is actually a really great little bit of the film. I actually really enjoyed that one quite a bit. It was cute and painful, like really painful. This might have been one of the more tame kills, but for me, that was a little painful. I was like, ooh, no, I don't want that. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
The mask of John Carver is actually very creepy and it works really well. And the pilgrim hat is really, really well done. Like the entire idea of the killer is very creative and really cool looking. So I expected this film to be a little bit more Grindhouse in its feel, a little bit more over the top, a little bit more ridiculous in its like gore and kills. And there is not that. There's no major spraying blood or anything like that. But there is a ton of dark comedy. I laughed several times during this film, inappropriately so, I'm sure. Most people would probably look at me thinking I'm a big old weirdo, but some of it was just flat out funny. So there you go. I have always been a fan of Eli Roth. I know a lot of people have issues with the fact that he is considered someone who goes over the top with his gore. And I don't agree with that at all.
You're wrong, man.
But I am a gore lover. So for me, this movie was not very gory. For some of you out there who are not interested in gore, I would caution you as far as this movie goes, because there is a lot of gore. It's not like one of Roth's past films, though. It's definitely more toned down. I know that he said that he pushed the R rating, and really, I didn't really see it. I mean, there was a lot of intestines. I mean, it wasn't too bad, really. I don't know if that just means I'm really messed up or not. To the casual horror lover, this might be too much for you. It might be too much. I mean, I like Terrifier films, and I love the Terrifier films, and I love the gore of the Terrifier films. I went in thinking it was going to be more gory. And I will be honest, when I first started watching the film, it wasn't nearly like the gore and intensity that I expected, so I kind of got a little disappointed. It was still very entertaining. It's a good film. It is a good, entertaining film. However, I was hoping for a high amount of gore, and there wasn't in a large portion of this. It does ramp up toward the end, and then there were some moments that honestly I felt. I definitely felt. I was like, ow. That would actually hurt. Like I don't like that at all. And usually I don't really get affected by it. So that's good. That's a big plus for the film. It's one of the better horror movies that I have seen in a long time. And it was refreshing. It was fun. I enjoyed seeing it at the theater. People were laughing and having a great time with it. I did have high expectations going into this film, and while it didn't completely meet those expectations, it was completely satisfying. You hear Eli Roth, and you have a certain vision for what you're about to see. This wasn't that vision, but I think this is much better. I think that this is really fleshed out and really well done and had the perfect amount of gore and the perfect amount of fun and dark humor, and it looked great. I think it could have been a little bit grittier and a little bit darker, but it didn't need it. It played really well. I think the decisions that he made were very, very good. And I'm really thrilled to see how far he's come as a filmmaker, because I do think that this is, while it's a horror film, it is still a little bit of a departure from the things that he's used to doing and the feel of what he used to make. And I dig it. I think he's really on the right track here, and I'm really excited to see what's going to come next. Overall, I would definitely recommend this film. I think it's a great watch. I would definitely add this to my Thanksgiving horror movie watching list. I really hope a lot of people get out to the theaters to see this. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Drop me a comment below about what you thought about the movie, if you're going to see it, what you're doing for Thanksgiving, anything you would like to say. I am open to hearing it. And I really hope that you have the most amazing day, my spooky darlings. How do you not have a cleaver in your film? Cleavers are so hot right now. You need to put a cleaver in your movie next time. You know what I mean? What about,